Right.
A few years ago, say back in 1967, 1968, there was a little town right there in Union City, used to call Russell City. And if you sneeze, you couldn't even, the breeze would be stronger than the wind, hitting that town. So nobody says, "Where's Russell City?" It says, we ain't got no Russell City. He says, "Yeah, it's right here in Union City." Almost looked like a ghost town, but there was a few residents there, they really did. And all of a sudden they had a flood there. And this flood was real high. So, no cars going in or going out. It was almost like the place abandoned. But there's a lot of few people that lived there. Well, they had this dude who was a connector. He used to sell pot, You don't got no cell phones in those days. And, so if you go to a place and they ain't got it and they're late and you got your money with you, well, something's gonna happen. Nobody wants to waste time. So this dude says, "I'm gonna get over there. There's no cell phones or nothing like that. Can't drive no cars." So he said he made a raft and he was going across
A raft.
the flooded area. And this is the way I cop. I had to go on a raft. And I said, "That sucker better be home," because he said, "How could he hang me up and split?" If he says, "Well, I was there all the time," I said, "You're a jive liar, because you couldn't get out. You ain't got the money." So he says you had to make every move good. It wasn't like you would have a cell phone you could call anybody, and But so he said he went on a raft. He said, "I went on a raft to cop some weed." I said, "You're kidding?" He says, "No." He says, "You know how Russell City is." I said, "Yeah." He said, "That just happened about 3 months ago." I said, "Man." I said, "Did you cop?" He said, "I almost didn't. The guy wasn't right there." I said, "Well, where could he go? There was water all over the place." He said he was hanging onto a tree in the garage. He said he slipped on something and he was all bruised up, his leg. And so he just grabbed part of the trunk on this tree. But he was kind of scared. And around that time they used to have crank coming around,
Mm-hmm.
So it isn't like, so that might have been, added to the, to the scariness, because those people right there, if you deplete yourself of all kinds of food, I mean, that's one thing, say for 2 or 3 days, I mean, he's going to do changes, do flips and all that. So if you don't get enough sleep and you're not eating no food, usually that's what happens to cranksters. That's why they can go for 15 or 60 days, then you find them up in a tree, in a sycamore tree, with a pair of binoculars like this. I remember this guy told me, he says, "Yeah." He said, "They swear, man." I said, I was on my, I was scared, man. He says, this DEA and the FBI, they hired these midgets, and they were hiding in the hedges. He said that they were agents, I said, "You're just paranoid, He said, "No, they hired these." He said, "I had a pair of binoculars." And I said, "Man, you're just scary." He said, "No, I swear." He says, "Look at my car." He says, "I thought they planted a bug in my car, and all underneath his dash, all wires are ripped off." He cut into the headliner here. I mean, his car looked like a brand new car. Looked like all tore apart and everything. He's looking for a bug, Tore his whole car off. One wheel's off, I mean, seriously, it's all ripped and everything. Then I remember a guy I used to go over. He lived right near Sobrani Park, right near Brookville Village. But if you go down, where the Gerber's baby food is?
Yeah.
I don't know where he had San Andrew Boulevard, just a little bit farther. And this pad was like, it didn't look too cool, what I mean? But it kind of looked bleak, it was a structured house and all that. And so one time, this guy was on crank. And matter of fact, it was so bad, he checked himself into the hospital. He said he slept for about 3 months. And they would get nurse. They said he was losing his hair because he had malnutrition. His hair was just coming out like that. He said, "Man, it took me a long time. I think he was a Napa, And anyway, I went over there, me and the guy, we were looking for him, I said, "Hey, Riley." And we had flashlights. And, "Man, don't they use lights in here?" His wife wasn't home. Matter of fact, his wife's Betty, his father was, pretty cool. He owned a little Latin club in San Leandro, And so I'm calling over there, and I says, hey, anybody here?" I said, Riley. And then I all of a sudden hear a little noise like. And there's this guy. His legs are hanging from the attic. You know, he pulled back the attic. His legs. He's up there with a flashlight, looking all in the up in the rafters and the beams. He's all paranoid. You know, he got flashlights up there, floodlight. You know, all kinds of seeing devices and everything. He thought he was armed. He had some type of slingshot, you know.
Slingshot.
But yeah, some of the stories that you know you think that's so bizarre. You know, a lot of the stuff is you can't make it up, and that's really happened. That's just I can go through thousands and thousands of just funny things, and every time I think about something, it just connects, and but it's just part of life, you know. Get through all that. Anyway, this guy here, right? He became really took care of business. He's got 3 grown sons right now. He's got a nice house.